Hello everyone, my name is Kevin and today we're talking about the electromagnetic spectrum. First, let's say what's the electromagnetic spectrum? Sounds common to you, right? The electromagnetic spectrum is also called the EM spectrum or EM radium or EM radiation in different forms. To learn more about this, you could watch our first video, the Electromagnetic Spectrum Part 1. So first, let's start the first question of Part 2. What's a wave? A wave is a vibrating disturbance through which energy is transmitted. Well, it is described by, first, height, which is the amplitude, and length, which is lambda. Well, this sounds a bit strange too, and I'll explain it later. First, let's look at my diagram over here. First, the top of the wave is called the peak or crest, and the bottom of it is called the trough. So first, how about the wavelength? The wavelength is also called lambda. So it goes through here, right? From peak to peak or trough to trough, just like that. Amplitude is how high it is from the trough to the peak. And finally, frequency. It is also describing how long it is, but in another way, like how many waves that pass through a certain point. That is also a type of measurement that you could find the length of it. And let's see the sizes of the waves in the electromagnetic spectrum. Well, these are just estimates. Well, but first let me tell you. Okay, so now we have a wave. The shortest wave can even be as short as a quark, like a subatomic particle, which is super small. And the longest wavelength could be as big as the universe. Oh my goodness. Okay, so here are the estimates of the size of different types of waves in the electromagnetic spectrum. First is the gamma ray, the most penetrative one with the highest frequency. Though the lambda or the wavelength between it is so short that its size is just as small as an atomic nuclei, which is the nucleus of an atom. Oh my goodness. And how about the X-ray? The estimate is just as big as the tiny atom. How about ultraviolet waves? They're big as some molecules, just like that. Well, atoms and atoms form to make a molecule, and it's just about about 10 times the size of an X-ray. The next one is the thing we can see, and it's visible light. It's just as big like a bacteria, which is from 0.1 to 0.5 nanometers. Then it's infrared radiation. Well, it's just like the heat energy produced by objects. So for example, like in the part 1 video, if you take a camera, infrared camera, and puts it on you take a picture of something else, and then it shows the heat of something. Just like that. Next is the microwave. No, not the machine that heats up your food. I mean, it's the tiny waves, not the microwave. Well, these waves are big enough to be as big as grains of sugar. Oh my goodness, that's big. And that's about from 0.1 millimeter to 1 millimeter. And finally, the radio wave. This is one of the ones that could reach their size almost as big as the sun. And that's because in the spectrum, there are the largest types of waves. The longest ones, just like they said, it is longer than the sun. But the average one is still big as buildings. Oh my goodness. So after we tell the estimate, then how can we measure the accurate size? Well, the accurate length can be measured by these. First, we have the base unit, which is meter. And the next one, we have a decimeter, which is 0.1 of a meter. Centimeters, which is 0.1 of a meter. Millimeters, which is 1,000th of a meter. A nanometer, which is 0.000000001 of a meter. So you thought nanometer has lots of zeros, right? There's even one more that has even more zeros. Oh my gosh. And although I'm not sure for the pronunciation, I'll just call it angstrom because of its writing. And it's 0.00000000001 meter. That's too much zeros. And although my brain could put in lots of science, those zeros are going to make them explode. How about some fun facts? 1 angstrom is also a 100 millionth of a centimeter. And it's kind of like a 10 billionth of a meter. Too small, right? So, do you think this video is interesting? If you do, please like and subscribe for it. And if you want to see our latest videos, check out our channel. And you probably won't miss any of them. See you!